Thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Mike Willett. I'm a partner consultant here at TeacherList.
Hi everyone, I'm Charlene LaFerrier. I'm a partner service manager here at TeacherList as well.
And we are going to present to you the TeacherList product, best ways to use it and how it can be valuable for your district and for your parents. At the end of the presentation, we will leave a few minutes for questions. So as you're going through, feel free to jot those down or type them into the application itself, and we'll get those and answer them at the end. So traditional back to school lists and really the ways supply lists have been done, even recently, are generally either printouts or a distributed Word doc or PDF via email to the family. The challenge here as a user is they're not responsive if they are even in an electronic format. It's a Word doc or a PDF that you need to resize, and it's really tough to deal with. Many are not ADA compliant, which is a challenge as well. And then sometimes they can be printed and stocked at the local retail stores, but sometimes they're not. So, parents are left with dealing with paper or depending on a printout being sent home. What we do is at TeacherList is we turn those supply lists that are in these more static file formats, and we digitize them, and we make them usable within really on any electronic device that someone may use, whether it's a phone, a tablet, or a computer. The lists are easily shared. They're responsive, so they're easy to read really on any of those devices, and they are ADA compliant. And the really cool thing is all of our lists are connected to major retailers. So it makes the shopping process super easy. Folks can either take their device into the retailer and use it as an electronic checklist, or they can simply, from their home or wherever, one click into a major retailer and check out in the shopping cart that supply list and have it sent to them. So it makes the process very, very easy for parents. So how TeacherList it helps schools and is a benefit to schools. It really helps create a strong first impression when parents are dealing with schools during back to school time. It's a huge benefit to the parent, and because of this, obviously it makes parent engagement with the schools more seamless and actually helps foster that. No more PDFs and printouts, as I mentioned earlier, fishing through a child's backpack or bag. And then also we hear from districts that can be expensive. All that printing, all that paper can be very costly. It's easy to update. Supply lists do change. And instead of updating either a paper version of a supply list or even a static file and then emailing, these supply lists are updated by us or by you, and they're easily updated and automatically updated right in the app. So sharing is very simple, and sharing is also simple to broadcast out that you have the lists available or that the lists are available. It can be done through social media, share buttons, can be done as a link on the website of the district or school, so it makes it very easy. And then one of the best parts is it's completely free for schools, districts, and parents to use. How we help parents and how TeacherList really helps parents. A big benefit is parents are notified when the lists are ready, so they don't have to check in. They don't have to worry that they might have missed something. There's a notification, a proactive notification, telling the parents that their lists are ready and they can shop them. Parents can shop when it's convenient for them. And how it's convenient for them. So sometimes it's not always easy to drive up the street and shop at the retailer. So the simple one-click shopping convenience makes it easy for folks to quickly purchase what they need. If folks do go in the store, the lists are there. They're checkable and they're dynamic on their phone, so they can easily use them if they do happen to be in store. And then, parents just in general love knowing that their child is prepared for that first day. It's, that one less thing that they need to worry about that their child has when they start school. And then, just like schools and districts, it's completely free for the parents. So that obviously makes it appealing to them.
All right, great. So how does this all work? Sounds great, right? So the first step is really to get us your lists. And you can send us your list for individual schools or for your entire district. It really is totally up to you in terms of how you utilize and distribute your supply list to parents. So the first step is to upload the lists. On our site, we have a PowerLoader page in which you can automatically just slide over the documents from your computer, tell us what school it's going to, and hit submit. They will be submitted to our digitization team. That's a tough one. And generally are personally reviewed and looked at and added into our system within 24 to 48 hours. We try to keep on top of that and love to have lists as early as possible so that we can get them into our platform as quickly as possible. If you either have problems with the uploader or for some reason it's not working correctly for you, or for whatever reason, if you want to just email us the lists, that's fine as well. You can send them all to the email listed on the screen, which is concierge@teacherlist.com, or feel free to send them to either Mike or I, and we'll get them over to the right contact person. We find, in all honesty, that if you are a district person, if you're uploading all of the lists for your district at once, many times it's easier to just send them to us via email. Just let us know what district it is, your zip code, and your full address, and we'll take it from there. We try to make it as simple and easy as possible, so there really should not be any issues for you. Step 2, once you've submitted your lists to us, you can just go ahead and share that button or the link on your site. As I mentioned, the lists will be live within 24 to 48 hours, but you can certainly start posting the URL link as soon as possible. We have a district page and a school page on our site, and we'll show you that in just a couple of minutes. But you can put that link at any point. After you've been notified via email that your lists are posted, we'll also give you a link specifically to that list as well, and you're welcome to share that. We encourage people to put it on your district site, on your school site, share it on social media and emails, newsletters. However you typically get back to school information to your parents, you should share it. We all know that parents need multiple reminders so that they're not calling your school secretaries and sending in emails wondering where things are. So if you plan for it now and just schedule it out, it's one less thing that you have to worry about. The other piece is that if you put that link on your site, and parents can go there, sign up to be notified when that link is live or when your list is ready. So it's one less thing that you have to do and an added convenience for your parents. And then step 3, parents find and they shop their list. So they will go find that link with the list on our site, take a look at it, see the exact items that your teachers in your school want. It's important to realize that we take that list and it is exactly what you want. So if your teachers really want Crayola crayons, then we're going to post the item being Crayola crayons. If they just want crayons and you don't care if it's a generic or a brand name, then we'll just post crayons. They take that list. When you're looking at it, you can see those retail buttons, whatever retail partners we have. It is important to realize that right now we are not in the retail back to school mode. So seeing those links, the links may not be active on our retail partner site. So don't feel like it's just not working. It's just not working as it will in July and August. But in any case, you click that button, it brings you over to the retailer site where the lists will live. You just one click check out, and your parents can either shop online or bring that list into the store and check things off as they go.
And as we've mentioned a few times, we do have major retailer integrations. So lists are available through these retailers, and many of the retailers actually build out their own programs around the list. So here you can see the Target School List Assist program, the Walmart program, and some retailers even in store. You can see with Staples has a kiosk with the lists in store. Now, the nice thing to know is all of these retailers, they're doing all of this. Your lists, if you're coming through Teacher Lists, are also available within these retailer-specific branded programs, because these programs are essentially us. So your lists now are available to parents both through the Target program and when they come to Teacher List, or they visit your website, click on the link, and access the list that way. So there's really complete coverage of the lists.
And how are other districts using Teacher List? So we find that a lot of times you want to see how other peer schools are using this. So let me just walk you through how Nashville schools in Tennessee are using Teacher List to communicate their supply lists. Nashville has a back to school central page, meaning one page for the whole district that has everything that a parent needs to ensure their kids are ready for back to school. So within that page, you have, your calendars, your bus flutes, your lunch menus, all of that stuff that a parent needs. And obviously then you have your back to school supply lists that are needed. So the link from the Nashville school goes right to the Nashville Public School District page on the Teacher List site. From there, the parent would choose the school that their child attends, and then at that point at the school, the specific list that they need. So if I had a second grader, then obviously I'd be looking at the second grade list. Look at that list, see the exact items that my child needs. At that point, I have a choice. I can either shop and click on one of our retail partners to purchase online, or I can take that list on my phone and walk into a store with my child or alone and purchase those items. It's also important to realize that from that school, that supply list, you can also print. So for those parents who would like to have that hard copy supply list in their hand, that's fine. That's certainly an option. And again, as Mike had mentioned earlier, you do not have the added paper costs. Parents can do that as they need. Here's another example of the Santa Fe School District that's also using us. Again, they have a little bit of a different format. They have it right from the drop down on their main home page, but the system is pretty similar. They go to the district page. From the district page, they go to a school page, and then to the specific list that the parent needs.
And the cool thing about Santa Fe, they do it the way Charlene just talked about, but they also include on the school pages themselves links going right into the school lists, so that we have on our site. So you can see it here, and then from there, so if a parent happens to be on the school page and on the district page, they can still access their list very, very easily, and it just deep links within the teacher list section into that school's list, and then the parent can then kind of move through the flow. So so depending on how parents use your district sites or your school sites, there's many different ways in which it can be implemented.
So thanks everyone for joining us. I'm gonna give you guys a couple minutes if there are any questions. But in the meantime, I realized there was one other piece I just wanted to review, and that is updating of lists from the school side. So as a school administrator, how do you go about updating those lists? We know that every year, sometimes lists change in a school or a district, sometimes they don't. One of the cool parts about us is if your lists don't change, we can make a notation of that. And every year we'll just update the school year for you. If you do have any specific changes, you can certainly go in and access at any point. You always have the ability to go in and edit any of your own lists. So that's a real helpful tool, especially around now as people are starting to think about supply lists for next year. So looks like we do have a couple questions. The first one is a great question. One of those things we always get asked about is if we're really free and how we manage a free product. Great question. So we do offer the service as a free. We are compensated by our retail partners. They look to us to compile all of the supply lists for schools across the country, rather than Target and Walmart and Staples going out and trying to collect all of the lists. They look to us. We're basically the clearinghouse, and then we provide the service to them. So that's how we're compensated, which certainly helps you guys out, saves you and your staff tons of time, hours of time. So that's how we're free. EdTech partners, in terms of EdTech integration, I think there's a Blackboard person out there. Yes, we do integrate with Blackboard and a number of other EdTech partners. School Messenger, we have some integrations. Gabbard, have some new affiliations coming with a bunch of others to come, which make it really easy with different apps and tiles within your site that you can add. So it makes it really easy for that. And finally, it looks like we have someone saying next steps. What's the next step? Great, glad to hear you're excited about it. So yeah, the next step is just you can actually go in and look at your own district, make sure that we have the schools for your district correct. Send us an email. Well, we have a short document on how to get going, but really it's just a matter of making sure that we have your supply list. So send them to us. Either via email or the uploader, and you can get going in literally 5 minutes flat. So glad to have you on board. If you have any questions, feel free to give either Mike or I a call or shoot us an email. We're happy to help.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time today. And like Charlene said, let us know if there are any questions.